but really with the point of the theater is what are they already doing? What are some amazing things that our young people have started working on, and they're here to share your stories. A very cool one that I get to introduce now is Madi Williamson. And when we first started thinking about this event here at the Visitor Center, I put out a call to other employees and staff here and said, hey, we're doing this event. The focus is what can kids do, and trying to give people ideas and examples. Anyone know anybody that you think would be a good fit? And luckily one of our coworkers reached out and she said, I know someone perfect. So I got to sit down with Madi. She's actually the oldest of our presenters here. And hear her story, and it was a perfect fit for just thinking about what can I do? How can I use what I'm good at or what I like to do to make a difference in the lives of others? So please welcome Madi Williamson.
Hello, my name is Madi, and I am here today to tell you about how I am quite honestly doing what I always dreamed of doing. I am definitely your typical 18-year-old girl. I just graduated from high school, and my hobbies include sports and hanging out with my friends, watching movies, TV, that kind of thing. And I think one of the things that maybe the older people here can relate to, what makes me the most teenager, is that I have no idea what on earth I'm doing in life. I really don't. I like to think that I do, but I'm totally clueless. So I thought, if I don't know anyway, I might as well do what makes me happy. And something that is very set in stone about me right now, even though I'm still at a very young age, is I like to live life very passionately. I know what I love. I know what gets me excited. I know what makes me tick. And most importantly, I know what I am able to commit all of my full energy to. I know what makes me happy and energized and excited. One of those things is soccer. And soccer has been a very important part of my life since I was about 7 years old. I've watched an embarrassing number of hours. I just spent so much time sitting in front of the TV, watching games. I blog about it. I live and breathe this game. And the best part is that I put all of this time and energy into the game, and it also has given me some of the most incredible things I could ask for. One of those being my soccer community. I have definitely been raised by a village, and I consider my soccer community to be that village that has raised me. And for example, in 2012, I had back surgery, and I thought my world was over. I couldn't play sports, I could hardly take care of myself, and the people who were really there holding my hand saying, you can do this, you can get through this, you'll be back on the field one day, you'll be back in the gym doing what you love. My soccer family, my soccer community was there with me. So when you have something in life that makes you that excited and that makes you that grateful and appreciative and contributes so much to the person that you are, you want to share that with other people, right? We've all had that, something that gets us really excited and happy and passionate, and we want to give it to other people. So I had the opportunity to do that. A lot of people don't always get to share their greatest gift in life, their greatest joy. I did, and that was through the form of Nehemiah FC. So my friend and I started Nehemiah FC as our senior project for high school. She lived on this farm in Kenya, which if any of you are familiar with Kenya, it's the nearest major city is Kisumu. It's in this area called the Nyanza province. And a few years back, when she was about 8 years old, her family moved to this area that was still developing. It was still pretty rough around the edges, and started a farm and orphanage that their eventual goal was to become self-sustaining, where they could have a dairy, they could have sources of income for the orphans that lived on this farm. They could provide education, food, water, medical care, things that aren't as easy to come by in Kenya as they are to come by here. Well, that project luckily took off, and as of 2 years ago, they are a full self-sustaining farm. They have every resource they could need, pretty much. They have internet, I Skype with these guys, I Facebook them. It's a pretty amazing thing that they've done. So now that these boys, and initially boys, now they're young men, they've grown up, they're done with school, they work during the day, and then in the evening they have a lot of recreational time. The biggest problem that they were experiencing is that they didn't know what to do with this spare time. They had never had it before. So they were engaging in activities that weren't necessarily ideal or supported by the mentors on this farm. They were gambling, they were going out and drinking, they were participating in some promiscuous activities, which is never ideal when you're supporting yourself on a farm and you can hardly take care of yourself, let alone a baby and a wife and that kind of thing. So we were sort of brainstorming what kinds of activities we could introduce that would be a very positive thing for them. And one of them requested a football club. So when word got around about that, everyone got really excited and said, yes, yes, we want a football club. So my friend Lexi, who is my co-founder, her dad came back and he said, Lexi, they want a football club. What can you do? She came to me, and of course, it was perfect. It was a match made in heaven. She was the Kenya expert, which dealing with other cultures can be a very difficult thing if you don't know much about them, and I was the soccer community expert. So I had this awesome opportunity to share my love and my passion and my enthusiasm and something that really means a lot with me to people halfway around the world that I've never met. Some of the positive effects that we've had through this club, they have built a community almost identical to the one that I have here. They support each other, they love each other, they're great for each other, and on a human level, in terms of the interactions that I have with individuals one-on-one, I have seen drastic changes through this. My club director, this is him, his name is Lamech, he's been inspired to start his own charities, and he's helping children in the area, orphans and young children without medical care or education, which is a really amazing thing. He took the initiative to do that by himself. My general manager, Chevy, who I don't have a picture of, he was inspired to go to university and get an education. And he's so excited now to be studying and to gain some new skills that he can bring back to the table and contribute to make our club bigger and better. They also have established a soccer community. These are all, the guys in the white are all Nehemiah FC players, and the guys in the orange are all players from another local team. They all play together. They try to play once a week. During the rainy season, it's a little harder because the roads flood over, something we never have to consider here. They all play together regularly. They play in tournaments. A lot of the gear that are on those guys are collected. The goalie gloves that the goalie is wearing are from a dear friend of mine. All of the West Sound FC jerseys are from local players in my community on Bainbridge Island. And there's my general manager and my director. It's a pretty amazing thing. So they too have gotten the opportunity to build this incredible community. Those shoes that they're putting on are my little brother's old shoes. So it's been incredible just to see firsthand the impact that you make, because I've always loved donating, and through World Vision, through some of the other organizations in the area. But it's one thing to give your money and to know that it's going someplace great. It's another thing to give something and then a week later get a picture of it on Facebook on your friend's feed. It's quite incredible. The community that they built, the teamwork that they built is extremely positive. These older men have now become great role models for some of the younger boys in the village to say, don't go out and gamble with your friends. Don't go out and drink. Come play soccer with us. Come do something positive and constructive. So as you can see, I collected a bunch of stuff. The support from my soccer community in Washington was unbelievable. Things grew in Kenya much faster than I ever could have hoped for. But the stuff that I had going on here, just piles of shoes, piles of soccer balls, tons of t-shirts, people asking me when they could drop stuff by for me, where I can leave it for you to pick it up, to give to Kenya. It was overwhelming, and I couldn't send all of this stuff to them, and also I couldn't send a group of men size 2 children's shoes. So I thought, what's next? And Give for the Game was the solution to that. So the idea with Give for the Game is that I collect, store, and then distribute soccer gear to kids all over the world. It was great helping Kenya, but they really, our ultimate goal with them was to have them become self-sustaining, and they're at a point now where they don't need my help as much anymore. So I've had time to sort of explore other options, talk to other people, and my coach in Brazil was one of the first people to say, I would have a use for all of the children's shoes. He helps children in the favelas of Sao Paulo and uses soccer equipment as a reward for doing well in school, which is hugely important down there. They're in a really poor area. They have hardly any resources when it comes to anything, and really a lot of them end up dropping out of school at a very young age and going into either the drug cartels or just living in the slums for the rest of their life. It's a pretty dire situation. So we've taken the soccer equipment, and right now the biggest focus that I'm working on right now through Give for the Game is to raise the money to ship all of these shoes to Brazil. So all in all with this, we've had some fantastic times. That's my dad and I sorting. I've learned so much. I've learned how amazingly supportive people will be of my stuff. It's not necessarily that I'm pessimistic, but I do realize that realistically, having a nonprofit, asking people for money, it's a struggle. People want to give, but they also want to hold on to their hard-earned cash. But people who are willing to donate all of these supplies, it's been great. People are so incredibly generous, and that just, it blows my mind and warms my heart at the same time. It's amazing. I have an overwhelming amount of stuff. As a family, it's brought all of us a lot closer together. My family's been kind enough to let me keep, I think at one point we had about 150 pairs of used shoes in our living room before they were sorted, sized, and stored in the garage. And right now I'm taking up valuable garage space with boxes and boxes of shoes. So I thank them for that. And it's made me realize how truly lucky I am to have the community that I have. It's one of a kind, it's totally incredible, and as you can see, it brings me great joy to do what I do. So, all in all, we have some really great days, and we have some really horrible days. But through these projects, there are more moments of pure joy. I can't even describe the emotions that come along with this. It's a roller coaster, yes, but all along that spectrum, you have joy and pride and gratitude when I get messages from people saying they want to donate, when I get messages from my people over in Kenya saying, we won our tournament today, we wore the shoes today, we had the goalie gloves today, and our guy didn't break his finger, stuff like that. It makes it all worth it. And most importantly for me, kind of selfishly, I get to live my dream. I get to do exactly what I've always wanted to do, which is help people through something that I love. So, the best way to maximize your impact on this planet, I can guarantee you, is to do something that you are totally, completely passionate about. So go out and do that.
So we have opportunity for a couple questions, if there's one or two out there. For Maddie, we'd be happy to field that. Anyone have a question?
No? All right, we have one non-question.
How did you get to know the girl that's connected with Kenya? How did you become her friend?
She has been my best friend since 10th grade. We were in history class together and realized that we had a lot in common.
Have you ever been to Kenya or Brazil?
I have not. One of the ups and downs that I was kind of discussing, we've had 2 trips planned so far, and we've had to cancel both of them. Third world politics are very, very different from our own, and for safety reasons, actually, most times we've had to call off the trips that we're supposed to take. So we're hoping that once everything kind of levels out, the recent events in Nairobi aren't making that any easier, but once things blow over and smooth over from elections and from terrorist activity, we're hoping to get a trip to go. Right now, they're still sending people to the farm, but it's only adults who have been before, who know the area, and who are able to lend medical attention.
Well, maybe another round of applause for Maddie. Thank you very much.